Nathan Cox here. Guys, today we're going to do a small drywall patch. I'm going to teach you how to do it right. We're going to use one of these to make it easy. So let's go do it. Okay, we're here in my master bathroom. That's why we're so tight in here. It's not a very big area, but I've already got a damaged area on the drywall here from the doorknob, okay? I've got a video series I did a while back where a guy backed into his garage wall too far, knocked out a 2-foot section. That's where you have to cut out the whole big thing and put in a new piece of sheetrock and this and that. And I'll have you can see the top right there. But this is, I think, a lot more common. I know a lot of people have really been wanting this, and this is a lot easier for the do-it-yourselfer. So I'm going to try to keep it simple, but get it so you guys can do a professional job. You can see that's from the doorknob. Now right there, you can see it's still solid. Okay, there's the indent there from the little door locker thing to the knob. But I can actually just slap some drywall mud right over that and start coating it, okay? But this is not that common, I think. I think most of the people have it where it's pushed back and it's loose and it's just flopping in there, okay? Or completely gone. If this was a textured wall, the first thing to do, which would be to sand the whole area at least about 12 inches out from the damage, okay? So, and all the way around. So that'd be like the first step. But we're skipping that because we already got smooth walls. Alright, so let's see if we can't do something really stupid here and make that punch through. Okay, that could have turned out worse and actually like dented the wall. Okay, so let's talk about these patches, shall we? Okay, I've got 2 patches here. This one here I got at my local Lowe's, and they used to carry one that I really liked. And you're thinking, well, what's the difference, right? They're both the stick-on with that fiberglass mesh type thing, and it's a metal sheet. Well, this one here, even though in the picture, you probably can't see, well, no, it shows it as being a mostly solid sheet with little holes drilled in it, okay? Let me open it up and show you why I don't like this one here. Okay, and maybe I need to peel that off the back so you guys can see it. Maybe, can you see that up close? Okay, that wire is not a wire, it's not a metal sheet with holes punched in it. It's a wire mesh, and it's just as loose as this. Now, if you guys ever watched any of my other drywall videos, you know that I do not like this stick-on mesh joint tape because it defeats the purpose. So let me explain really quick the purpose of using joint tape in the first place and why professionals always use that paper tape. Is because drywall mud doesn't need this mesh to make it strong. It's not like clay bricks where it needs a straw in there or any of that kind of crap. A crack is going to happen, okay? When the house settles or moves, that drywall mud, that joint compound is going to crack every time. Okay, hairline cracks, but you're going to see them. They're going to bust right through, and sometimes they're bigger than hairline cracks. And that's why that paper tape is solid. So when that crack happens, it's behind the tape, and you don't see it. You never see it. Okay, that's the whole purpose of the tape. Is when that crack forms between those 2 pieces of sheetrock, you never see it. And that's the same problem here. And then when you squeeze the mud through, there's just not that. There's not enough there. That's one from Lowe's. I ordered this one from Amazon. Okay, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't make that too long, but I had to explain why we use in the drywall business we use certain things and not. There's a lot of products that are starting to come out there for the DIYer, and they're just not very good. I have a link in the description down below, an Amazon link. Not only helps support the channel and the website, but it's going to get you the right product. Okay, I just ordered this, it came in. Let's take a look at this one here. Alright, you see that? There are slots in it, and there should be, but you see there's more metal than there's air. And that's the important part, okay? There's enough holes there so you can squeeze the drywall mud through, so it'll help adhere to the wall. But there's something there solid that's going to help cover the hole, so it stays solid and looks good in weeks and months and years to come, okay? Alright guys, here's a drywall sanding sponge, or just a sanding sponge, not a drywall sanding sponge. I got some drywall knives here. I'm going to go through that really quick in a second. Even though this is a smooth wall, I still want to quickly sand the area just to make sure, to roughen up the sheen of the paint, just to make sure it's clean, okay? Now in one of those recent videos I saw that just came through this local area here, the local Southwest Missouri area, is that the gentleman doing the video was using a little 4-inch knife, and he kept putting it on there and kept saying feather edge, feather the edge, feather the edge. You really can't feather the edge with a 4-inch knife, okay? You want to use the bigger knife possible, okay? So I start off with a 6, a lot of times just to get a start. And then I immediately go to a bigger knife. So doing this patch with a 4-inch knife is the wrong way to go about it because it's going to make it really hard for you. In this video we're going to use the 6-inch and the 10-inch knife. And the only other thing you guys are going to need is the joint compound. So I don't want you guys using spackle or even the heavyweight spackle for doing a patch like this where you're filling in. You want to use some regular joint compound, but you can buy them in quart size. Looks like this. Okay, you can also order those off of Amazon and stuff like that. Alright, just peel and stick. Alright, we got our good patch here. Peel it off. Obviously it's sticky. We're just going to center it in and stick it on, okay? Okay, if you got a loose string, get rid of it. Okay, now here's another little tip. I do recommend getting some kind of a pan, even if you get the plastic ones. But it's really worth spending a couple extra bucks to get the metal one. They're just so much easier to use. And there's a good chance you could have more drywall patches down the life of you living in homes and stuff like that. They're just going to happen. If you have the regular joint compound, I suggest adding a little bit of water to it and stirring it up in your pan, okay? Just add a little bit of time. You want to soften it up, okay? So it can move a little bit. That joint compound right out of the bucket is actually generally a little too thick, okay? There are certain circumstances, blah blah blah. But don't make it runny. Don't make it like, you know, crazy like that. The more water you add to it, the more it's going to shrink. Okay, but you need it a little bit thinner so that you can work with it. Because I'm sorry. Press it on there and actually squeeze it in there at first. Okay. We're gonna push it through so it's squeezing through the holes. Okay. Now let's talk about that whole feathering thing. Okay. Now it's very hard to feather with a very small knife. Okay, that's why it doesn't work with a 4-inch at all, because a 4-inch isn't even flexible. Okay, so we've got our 10-inch knife here, and the whole idea, okay, if you can see on my other camera here, is you kind of flex it a little bit. See how I'm pushing the pressure on here? So that it goes from nothing and slowly feathers out to the patch. And instead of taking a small knife and just going like this, okay, and now it's not feathered, and you have a lot of sanding to do. Okay, we're actually not going to sand until the very end. That's what makes this way better. Okay. And you don't want to take away too much mud here, which I think I already did just a little bit. Okay, it happens, especially when I'm trying to teach people how to do it, rather than just doing it. It's okay if you need to put a little bit more back on. Okay, and see, there's very little lines on it. It's pretty smooth. And you can see this mesh little thing going on here. It's okay, we need to let it dry and build it back out. And next time we're actually going to go out further, out like here, okay? And you'll see, we're going to do like 3 coats on this. So guys, there's coat 1, and let's get ready for coat 2. Okay, now the second coat, what we're going to do is, remember I said we don't need to sand between every coat if we do this right, and actually feather the edges instead of just slap it on there. So I'll show you what we're going to do. And then we're going to float it out. It's a term a lot of guys use. So we're going to make it bigger, and I'll show you what we're talking about. This should be actually fairly smooth. Okay. What we're going to do is we'll take our knife, because you might have had a lip or an edge or something like that was sticking up. You just want to go like that. You want to knock down anything that's sticking up. Okay. And there was a couple tiny little spots that popped off, and that's normal. Okay. Even if you have a line or something like that, that scrapes it off. Okay. Now floating it out is kind of what it sounds like, because when you put a patch on a wall or doing like that, it builds this area out, right? So your wall's like whoosh, and then comes out and then goes back in. We don't want that. You want this to kind of be bigger, so it just slowly comes out and then back in. Okay, that way the eyes don't see it, you don't catch anything, it looks like the natural wall. So, I'm going to bring it out like that. We're going to make it bigger. Just barely missing the towel rack there. Okay, now the mud is applied. Now we need to feather the edges again. Okay, that's where we flex that edge of that knife. You can see how it's, you know, over here it's got that translucent almost edge. I don't know a better word for it. This paint color is working well. Just kind of show that off. Okay, now everyone, this isn't going to be perfect still yet. This is second coat, okay? There's going to be some little dimples and this and that in here, and that's okay, okay? Sometimes working it too much, trying to get it perfect, you shouldn't be getting it perfect at this point yet. It should be looking pretty good. Okay guys, here we are on the last coat. Now we're going to do a little bit of sanding ahead of time, because this is where we make it really good. This is where we make it almost like basically perfect, okay? So let's just get right here to it. Okay, so the best that I can show you here, gonna be hard to see with, you know, trying to get the cameras to show it. There's these little bumps right here and some over here, and those are really air bubbles. Okay, that really appears when you, especially when you put like drywall, like real drywall mud over paint. You know, it kind of bubbles a little bit, and you've got a couple little lines right here, but those are easily sanded off. But then we have right over here. There's a notch. Okay, I don't know if the knife scraped something, or sometimes there's a little something in there. Now, if you can sand smooth around there really quick and easy, but for the most part, we're going to fill that in, okay? If you got to sit there and sand like, you know, really deep around that area to smooth that out, then you're digging it out and then you're making it worse. Okay? Okay, you guys see, that was not crazy hard. That was in real time. I did not speed that up on purpose. And now we are super smooth, except for this little spot here and a couple of air holes. Those little bumps, when I sanded them off, they left air holes. We're going to fill them up. There's a little piece right there where you can see the mesh from the patch. Now out here around the edge, I talked about feathering the edge many times in this video, and you can see it's just like super smooth. You can see, you know, half see the paint through, and then it gets darker, and then it gets into it. If you want to really check this out to make it sure it's really good, you can put a flashlight at an angle and see if there's any lip. Because when we're all done, we get this painted, if there's an edge right here, a little bitty lip, that's going to come out in the paint every time. You'll see this circle. And it's that edge right there, because it wasn't feathered, whether you were able to feather it when you did it with the drywall, with the knife, or if you just needed to feather it when you sanded it. Either way, that's the part that always shows the worst. Okay? So now, don't even need the bigger knife, because what we're going to do is we're not going to do a complete fill. Okay? This is our final sanding and touch-up coat right here. Alright, I should probably step back here 1 second really quick. Somebody would be like, hey, I've got a texture wall, what about me? Because we've been doing the smooth wall thing here the whole time, right? Alright, what I just did when I called it the final sand and touch up, which is really like, it is really the main sanding, you wouldn't have to do the touch up from there. Unless you had something like really standing out. Those couple little tiny air bubbles and then literally scratch right over here, be covered up with the texture. Really highly recommend you get a quality can of spray texture. But for those of you who have smooth walls, like I do, now we just have to and that's it. And that's why that little bit super thin top coat I put on there, you want to make sure there's no edges. I so much thank you for joining me with this video. I hope I was able to help you guys with your drywall patch project. This one I should have made so long ago. I don't know why I haven't, because this is a real important one to you viewers out there. So many people have this problem. But if this did help you, please give it a thumbs up. Please share this video. Above my head there, please subscribe to my channel. I'll have my website link. We'll put it over there. An extra video for you to watch up over there. I can't aim right because it's all mirrored. It's all backwards. Guys, thanks again so much. You have a great one.